work. Oh no. Oh good. I think I'm live. Yes, I'm live. Oh yes. Okay, sorry. I was supposed to be starting at 4:15 and I ran into technical difficulties. Oh, that I was just being notified that I'm live. And oh yeah, it's working. The volume's working. So I don't know what happened. I had a glitch. Glad that's fixed because now I can ramble on as long as I want, knock on wood, without the video shutting off. I mean, it's amazing I even got it started. So, whoever's here, please leave a comment, a question about cryptocurrencies, digital assets, and I'll try to cover everything I wrote down on this 2 pages. The one page I read to myself and it was over 10 minutes long. So this could be like a half an hour video. Um, so if you don't have time to watch the whole live stream, come back to the channel and like and subscribe so you can find me. So where I left off and I was about to get into after the first video, I talked about that this is a potentially trillions of dollars sector of our economy. And, even though there's opposition because it could be weaponized and politicized if the wrong group gets uh, in charge. So hopefully that'll not happen. But currently it is lucrative. And I think I mentioned hedge funds and day traders. So eventually I'll try to link that first video to this one. Excuse me. If not, just go to my regular videos on my channel. It's a good intro to what I'll be talking about. So I brought up a couple of acronyms. Excuse me. Like HODL, ODL, ICO, IPO. There's so many more. And, there's so much content on YouTube and, magazines like, the financial magazines put articles. And even digital asset exchanges will have articles, from magazines and whatnot. So, okay. I mean, when my phone shut off, what was I talking about? I got into, I was talking about the IPO and the ownerships. Uh, I want to make a correction. So IPOs are basically from the creators, not the exchanges per se. So, yeah. So I was about to talk about the different kinds of people who get into digital assets. And of course, hedge funds, the wealthy people, they're all over it. And it's, that's how it's manipulated. And at first it wasn't. And then everyone started getting into it. Uh, and then day traders who know what they're doing and are very brave and like to take risks. um, and then there's the long-term holders, like me. Like I'm experimenting for hopefully a comfortable retirement because who wants to do house cleaning when they're 70 years old? So, um, yeah, if it's important to know that many people take profits along the way, and if you learn anything, uh, try not to make emotional trades and sales. Again, I'm not a digital asset advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes, this video, because I'm still a beginner. I have a lot to learn. It's not a financial advice. I just want to share my basic knowledge in the digital asset arena, which isn't much. Hopefully, maybe I can link a couple of people that I like to follow. One is the Coin Bureau. He is probably the best, in my opinion. Very informative. And I used to listen to the uh, uh, Digital Asset Investor, DAI. But, there's some, hype there. But he's knowledgeable. So what one brings to the table, another, might be lacking. And, everyone brings something to the table. Another fun one is the Bearable Bull. he's, you don't take him seriously, but he's smart, I think. Everyone makes mistakes too. We all do. And that's how you learn. So, yeah, what I was saying is it's important not to make emotional decisions. And everyone does when you're first getting into this. It's a little exciting. And over time, you'll probably get to learn the market and, you know, important things. You'll have to do so much research, like um, Bitcoin and Litecoin Litecoin was my first one because it was a fork from Bitcoin, and it can handle more transactions with less expensive fees, and it a lot faster than Bitcoin. And I'll explain. Bitcoin is a blockchain, and to make a transaction, if this was the Genesis block, this guy had to, talk to this block, and then it validates. And then the third one would come and have to talk to the second block, and then the second block had to validate from the first block. That's why Bitcoin has a little controversy right now, because it's so large, even though the supply is limited, and Litecoin does have more. Um, Bitcoin is broken up into Satoshi, and Litecoin is broken up into what? Protons. So, yeah, and there's like I said, more Litecoin, but Bitcoin is so big now that it takes, I think, 10 minutes to validate, and then it might be each block. And that's a lot every time a new block is mined. And it's so why they think it will, go up in value. Well, they don't think, if it's not taken away from people because of the carbon footprint. And that might be legitimate because it does take energy to mine. But it takes energy to send emails too, you know. And think of the energy it takes to actually mint a quarter or, any coin, or, you have to go out and research and find the resources and make agreements and get those resources and then transport the resources and then transform the resources. All of that takes energy. Then you have to distribute it, and that takes energy. And so everything uses a carbon footprint. In my opinion, cryptocurrency probably takes, less resources because you're not going out and blowing up a mountain to look for nickel or whatever copper to make nickels and pennies. So it makes sense to me, and I really think it's the future, like I said on my first introductory video. So, do I have anybody here? 2 people. If you have any questions, say something in the chat. That'll be fun. You'll be my first, besides myself. So, where was I? Yeah, even when you get to know the market, it could change because, there were rhythms and then we had our lockdowns. And it seemed like when the stock market was down, Bitcoin was up. Same with gold. But that changed at some point when whales, which are very wealthy people getting in, start to manipulate it by day trading and hedge funds and things like that. So, yeah, the market could change even when you think you know. Maybe you just never really know. So, when you do sell or try to take a profit, there's 2 things to know. There's a short sale and a long sale. Short sales are when you buy a token or coin and hold it less than a year, and you have to report that on your taxes, and you pay more taxes. I don't know why, but uh, they just do that. And a long sale is when you hold the asset for over a year and your taxes are less. And I'm sure every state has different laws, so check with your state. You do have to do a lot of research, and especially with exchanges. When I first wanted to get into this, I Binance was the big one. So I researched a couple and tried to set up a Binance account. And then I said, wait a minute, I got to do some more research. And I found out that originally, years ago, prior to 2019, when I was just getting into it, Binance, I think, or even before that, was located out of the country. So I said, no way. Last minute, and then I did more research and more research, and I found Gemini, and I found the Winklevoss twins, and I have respect for them, even though they turned out to be Bitcoin maxis and didn't list XRP, which many people feel is really going to be used by so many institutions, and it is. Already it's being used in many countries. Um, Unlike Western Union, it's so much faster and the fees are so much lower. And it's starting to really go up. It actually doubled since the ruling a few days ago in favor of Ripple Labs and XRP not being a security from the SEC, which is another acronym, which I will get into now. Some more acronyms. Oh, where did I put that? Let's see. All right, SEC stands for the Securities and Exchange Commission. So they're supposed to regulate. But I feel, digital assets, in my opinion, should be ruled by a different sector because it's a new asset, and I don't know if they even said, I think that they're not sure, and they'll, talk amongst friends and call it this, and then turn around and do the opposite of what people think. And they're not perfect either. So some other important financial acronyms are IMF. That's the International Monetary Fund. That's a worldwide thing. BIS is Bank of International Settlements. That's worldwide too. And in our country, we have the Treasury and the Federal Reserve, and they're different. They're managed differently. Although recently, and not many people know this, supposedly one was absorbed into the other. So now I don't know if they're merged or what, because news today is so muddled. Nobody knows what's going on, really. So, supposedly, the Federal Reserve is accountable to Congress. But I once called the State House to either give my support or opposition to some bill or something, and or I had a tiff with the IRS and my 2020 tax issue. And if you listen to some of my older videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I did call for, just to get some, to document it, number one, but also to see if I could get somebody on board to say, hey, what's going on with the IRS. And okay, where was I going with that thought? So the person who answered the phone, I think this was during the lockdown or around that time, said that nobody oversees the IRS, which could be true, because if the IRS is run by the actual Treasury, the Treasury is supposed to be, they print money, and supposedly they work with the executive branch. And the executive branch is supposed to pick the heads, which are only, if you know, they're only lists given by them to the president, and he can pick one. So that's not really picking one if it's a insider group. It's not really picking. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, so those, of course, you do have to pay taxes with your cryptocurrencies when you take profit. And, I think IRS agents are still learning a lot because it's so complex. Like I said in one of my videos, I had to type a letter explaining um, uh, uh, my transaction when I made a profit on Bitcoin. I waited till it doubled and took a profit. So it wasn't much. It was only about $300. But that's how I learn. I'm like experimenting here and there and playing around to see how it works. And anyway, um, so Bitcoin is known by most people, and that is considered a blockchain. And there are many terms for cryptocurrencies. There are, the basic ones like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Although Ethereum is trying to rebrand itself from proof of work to proof of stake. and new cryptocurrencies like to build on top of an old one, like Bitcoin has Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. And Litecoin, like I said, is faster. And the thought behind Bitcoin Cash is that everyone would use that more like a cash, just like Litecoin, for transactions with purchases, which makes it proof of work, but also like a utility coin, because it's being used for something. That's one terminology used. Then there's altcoins, which are probably branches, or just like projects that still aren't going anywhere. And then there's meme coins, which are just for fun, and day traders love those. One up there, like in the top 10 right now, is Pepe the Frog. I think it was number 3, but there's also, um, like Dogecoin. Then they had Shiba Inu, which is considered a meme coin. One recent one I found was called Smurfs, and people made a ton of money off that. But like, if you don't know, like one Bitcoin, has a decimal point after it, but something like Shiba Inu has like, a decimal point, zeros, then a number. So like it's just a fraction before it makes up a 1. So if it makes up a 1, um, I'll be doing all right. If it survives, because there is a war on crypto right now, and you got to be brave and wait. So I'm gonna list a few. There's like Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, Shiba Inu, Bitcoin Cash, Solana, Ethereum, and Stellar Lumens is like a brand. It's supposed to be similar to Litecoin and used by banks for like international settlements. And you can get that for pennies right now. But it too is going up. As soon as XRP got clarity and Coinbase relisted it, XRP went up, and so did Stellar Lumens, and that's called XLM. So I know I'll probably try to do another video on my phone, a short one with a short list of abbreviations of good coins that I think that I'm maybe the ones that I have. Like I couldn't get XRP on Coinbase when they stopped trading, excuse me, a couple years ago. But as soon as clarity happened, they relisted, and I did get onto Uphold, and that's the only place that has HBAR, which is supposed to be tied into XRP somehow, and digital assets have hash rates, which means like the speed and the patterns that they validate and make the transactions occur. So like HBAR has a different hash rate. I'm not technical, and I'm not pretending I know, because I don't. I just know it's different, and I did pick up some of that, and I'm hoping that does okay. Some things have kinks. Like I heard like uh, Chainlink. Wait, was that it? Chainlink maybe. Was supposed to do good, and supposed to take over Ethereum. I think that was one of them. But it had some issues, and some of them do. And I'm sure everybody heard about like the FTX scam, where the creator was people in Ukraine were buying it, but then some it's a pretty bad thing. Some people in our government were buying it, these, but maybe some ours too, the rhinos. um, and then it went under. They probably, sold before it did. And the money disappeared. It was a whole awful scam. But it's dangerous when people screw around like that. So I instinctively knew when there was hype to buy it, to stay away. Thank you, angels of mine that protect me. Just like if you hear about staking, I instinctively knew stay away from staking, because on Gemini, I think there's a lawsuit regarding like staking is when you have a cryptocurrency and you lock some of it away, and that can be used as loans for people. So after doing a lot of research, finding out how our financial institutions work and what happens, especially with lending and debt and everything. I mean, I saw that as a similar scenario, and I was right, because some banks were going under, supposedly because of staking. And if you don't monitor your wallets and stuff, things could happen even from the exchanges. Like if anyone was a victim of Robinhood when was it GameStop? That GameStop thing happened, and Robinhood stopped trading because the little man was profiting quite nicely. I had just like, under maybe $50 on Robinhood, just playing around, learning. And I took everything off Robinhood. But because they have that power to just like shut off selling or even buying, like Coinbase did with XRP, but they warn people. With Robinhood, they didn't warn anybody. So a lot of wealthy people with their little hedge funds lost some money because they were selling and the little man was buying or something. I don't even know, but yeah. On my Coinbase, I had, I think, Cardano. As the abbreviation for that is ADA. So Cardano was going to offer staking if they would lock some of my Cardano away and use it to borrow, for people who wanted to borrow off of that. And it's a pool. It's like a staking pool. Like I'd give 5 Cardano, somebody else would give 5, someone else 5, and so if somebody wanted to borrow 15. So then when they, I guess, just like a loan or debt, maybe they, get a fee for allowing staking. The stakers get paid to let them use their assets. I found out that my Cardano was set up to be staked at a certain date, and I immediately undid that and wrote a quick little note, please, I don't want any part of this. I was nice about it. So yeah, I just had an instinct, and I'm glad my guardian angels are looking out. So, yeah. So, all right. Some coins are called, that's proof of stake. Then we have the meme coins, utility coins, which XRP is a utility coin. It's used for a purpose, and a lot of them have ideas, and like I know gaming is big, and I bought uh, some some coins that would be used in gaming, and hoping it does okay. It's a little slow to take off because when somebody has a project, 3 more people come along and try to do the same and make theirs bigger and better. So it's tough, and I don't expect to make money off of all of the coins or whatever. And even if I did, if the whole market crashed, my goal initially was invest 1,000 a year. I'm not in the position to do that anymore, and I haven't. I think I have under $100 invested in 2023, and probably less last year. I forget, but at first I was trying to keep it around 1,000. So I took $1,000 profit from Ethereum. I sold it all, and my initial investment, I think it was under $200. I know that. So, and then I paid taxes, and I was able to actually give that to my son because he was, having a tough time, and that was a good feeling. It really was. So, that cut my initial investment. After taking that profit, I did take $50 and got back into Ethereum, and it's doing okay now because it was reasonable. It did go down a lot, and I could have taken a profit when it was like $5,000, no lie, and I waited, and it started to go down. So, this is how you learn. When things really spike, I was afraid to like get greedy and take a profit, but that's how you learn. Everyone who does this says take profits along the way, put like stops, wait till it gets this much, and maybe leave some in. Because like I did that with Bitcoin. I took a small, tiny profit and left some. So, yeah. Anyway, even if the market crashed, I don't have too much to cry about. My hopes would be shattered for a nice, comfortable retirement. But I am resourceful. Anyway, so is that it for my okay. Something about exchanges. When you're signing up, research first. Find out who owns it, where it's located. Listen to reviews because that really makes a difference. But something I had a hard time when I was trying to sign up on one exchange. I couldn't do it. I kept trying and trying and trying. Every time I tried to send my picture of my license, it just wasn't working. So I realized I didn't allow my camera or third parties to access my camera. So once I figured that out, I allowed it. So then, occasionally I'll disallow it just so, I don't know, just like so too many people don't have access to my camera. But every once in a while, some exchanges will want you to update your info periodically. Like you have to resend stuff, and that's okay because they have to update periodically too by, I think, maybe the SEC, but I don't know who. FTC? I don't know, one of those. FTC is Federal Trade Commission, and I don't know if they dabble in exchanges or that's strictly SEC. Anyway, I hope I covered everything. Um, a couple more acronyms. Maybe I'll make another video with DeFi, that's decentralized finance, NFT, non-fungible tokens, ETF is exchange trade funds. That I need to look into a little more because I'm not really too familiar with that. But did I cover everything I wanted to cover here? I think I did. So, oh yeah, a couple other acronyms when you're doing research, when you're first getting in, is POW, that's proof of work. I mentioned that before. That's what Bitcoin is, Litecoin, and ETH is currently that. And ironically, POS is proof of stake, which is self-explanatory to me. I didn't want to try it. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll try to do another video because this is live. I don't know how to put my little blurbs and music and intros. Maybe later I'll figure out how to add something to this video. But thanks for joining if you're here. There's a couple people. Nobody has chatted except for my other channel, which is how I monitor what's going on this channel when I'm live. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And thanks for joining in. I'm going to end this and hope you're enjoying your summer.